We've seen a slew of barricaded gunman calls in and around Detroit this summer and fall. Some standoffs leaving neighbors on edge for days at a time.
Here's a quick look at the numbers from Detroit police. In 2019, they responded to 22 barricaded gunman calls for the year. So far in 2020, they've responded to 27, 19 of those calls just since March of this year.
The 7 Action News reporter Jen Shantz joins us this morning with a look inside at how police approach these difficult situations and the impact they have on neighborhoods. Jen?
Yeah, Keenan and Alicia, the idea for this story really started when our photojournalist Mike and I were noticing that we were covering a lot of these barricaded gunman calls. So we were curious if Detroit police had noticed an uptick. Now, we all remember in mid-September that nearly 30-hour-long standoff in the city's Brightmoor neighborhood. Detroit police, for them, that wasn't a total victory. Despite getting 2 hostages safely out of that home, the suspect turned the gun on himself.
Right here, and ran over here and broke the concrete.
William Ferris lives right next door to the home on Iliad that Detroit police surrounded for more than a day, trying to convince the man inside to let 2 hostages go and surrender.
He just moved here last year. He ain't been here a whole year.
His neighbor took these photos, one of them showing a hostage's release.
This is crazy, what is going on back here.
Commander Darren Zalagi with DPD's Metropolitan Division is one of the officers you'll see at these types of calls, which are up this year. So far in 2020, Detroit police have responded to 27 barricaded gunman calls. They responded to 22 in all of 2019.
Pre-pandemic, we would operate out of a mobile command post and a unified command. Now being in those close quarters is not such a good idea, so we find that we're doing a lot of our discussions and planning and decision making outside, open air.
And with winter coming, the department is making plans to use an inflatable tent with an air filtration system so officers have a place to work safely in the inclement weather. Commander Zalagi says, unfortunately, DPD has had a lot of experience in responding to these high-pressure calls. Like this one back in July on Detroit's west side. Negotiators were able to convince an armed man to come out of this home peacefully.
We rely on patience, we slow down, and we try to get that suspect who's probably having the worst day of their life to relax a bit, talk to our negotiators, come out.
Even before officers arrive, they're gathering intel on the suspect and the area using their real-time crime center. And DPD uses a team of negotiators, not just one.
Sometimes a suspect may not warm up to one, so we may pass them off to another trained negotiator until we get that person that suspect feels comfortable with. The moment I feel as an incident commander, we're starting to get there, is that moment the negotiator lets me know that they've established trust.
Now, Jen, in a lot of these situations, people are told to shelter in place. How do police make that call, because it doesn't happen in all of them, and how do they communicate that to the neighbors?
Well, Keenan, they communicate that call based on a public address system that police have, and whether or not they're telling people to shelter in place or whether they need to make that decision to extricate people from a dangerous situation, that's something that Commander Zalagi says they make pretty quickly upon entering a scene, upon arriving at a scene. And they say more times than not, the neighborhood helps police officers, whether it's just cooperating or providing them important information to keep that area safe. Keenan?